Hi there, this is Josh from Literary Gladiators, and today I'm here with a special kind of book haul. This is a book haul for a book festival that I recently attended. On October 14th, I paid a visit to the Morristown Festival of Books in Morristown, New Jersey. It is in its fourth year. It was funded by Morgan Stanley. It was operated by two bookstores in the area, Bookends in Ridgewood, New Jersey, and the Bookworm in Bernardsville, New Jersey. Bookends is known very well for their hosting of various author events, many of which are celebrity memoirs as well. But I really had myself a time. I spent a nice chunk of money, but it was worth it. I got 12 books, and many of them I got signed, and so let's just get right into it. First thing that I got is The Brain Defense, Murder in Manhattan and the Dawn of Neuroscience in America's Courtrooms by Kevin Davis. This is such an interesting concept to look into a particular event and how the neurology and brain science within court cases really makes a difference. The insanity plea that people constantly lean on. But I'm really intrigued to check this out, and Kevin Davis was just a really nice guy. He had a great sense of gratitude, and I really am looking forward to reading this, and I'm really hoping that this is a great hit. Next thing that I got is The Jersey Brothers, a missing naval officer in the Pacific and his family's quest to bring him home by Sarah Mott Freeman. Now, the basis of what this book is about just grabbed my attention right away, and she had a pretty long line, and it was rightfully so, because there were a lot of her target audience was in attendance, and the person right in front of me was himself a World War II veteran, which is quite amazing. Next thing that I got is from a poet that I attended a presentation and reading for, and that is Selected Poems of Paul Muldoon, 1968 to 2014. He selected 5 poems from each of his 12 collections and put them into this collection, and this is the finished product. It was really, I really enjoyed the poems that were in here from what I read, and the ones that I glanced, funny enough, through were some of them that he read while he was giving his presentation. And he has a dry sense of humor, but he has a great sense of brilliance. To me, he's very reminiscent of Seamus Heaney in the way that his poetry is straightforward. What he's writing about is a concrete image that is representing that particular moment in time. It's not symbolic in the way that it is looking for someone to decipher it. The next 2 books that I got are The Forgotten Room and Full Wolf Moon by Lincoln Child. This was quite amazing because Lincoln Child has been somebody that I've been collecting, both his solo works and his novels that he wrote with Douglas Preston. And it's quite, I think that he is a really, he is a solid author in the realm of the best-selling thriller writers. He doesn't have the acclaim and publishing rate that James Patterson has, but I would say he's in a class of him, Michael Connelly, Jeffrey Deaver, and quite something. He too signed the book. And most of them, before you get in line, the volunteers ask, what do you want them to write? And to me, I just want usually they know what they're going to put in the book. Usually it's best wishes, happy reading, or a tagline. For instance, when a fellow Garden State speculative fiction writer, Gary Frank, signs his books, he does for Forever You Will Suffer, it's Love is Eternal, So is Revenge. I like those little catchy taglines as well. When I did for Speculations from New Jersey, when I signed for Pity Teeth, my note is Fear the Dentist. So, but Lincoln Child, I would say, had the longest line, because when I left the line, it was going beyond the 10 as well. And he was giving a presentation with Tess Gerritsen. The next one that I picked up was Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. She is a Korean-born writer who moved to America at a very young age, but her writing has to do with Korean families and people from the Korean background and their way of life. I was speaking with Minjin Lee, and she is just a really nice, friendly person. She was, I admired her so much during the signing that I decided I had to get her first book as well, Free Food for Millionaires, which this one is set in America, but I think that this pretty much gives you that writing what you know kind of air, very much like Saul Bellow and Philip Roth did with their Jewish backgrounds. Min Jin Lee does that with being Korean. Next book that I got was quite an amazing book to add to my collection, and it was quite amazing to meet this particular author because his name has been mentioned a handful of times in the BookTube community. And Kelsey, who was an active gladiator during the 3rd, 4th, and 5th season, as well as she also contributed individual videos. She mentioned him in one of her videos, and the book I'm talking about is Uglies by Scott Westerfeld, and it was quite, this is a work of YA, which it's not necessarily a favorite genre of mine, but the concept to me had that Twilight Zone-esque feeling to it, and it was really, I'm really intrigued, I'm really eager to see what this book has in store and what the series has in store. The two things that I think about are the 2 Twilight Zone episodes, Eye of the Beholder and Number 12 Looks Just Like You. And I think that this will be something, this will be an interesting adventure. Next thing that I got is Cooking with Nonna. Celebrate food and family with over 100 classic recipes from Italian grandmothers, by Rossella Rago, who is the creator and host of Cooking with Nonna TV. This is just a gem for someone from an Italian family like myself who admires Italian food and has had members of their family put together some of the best Italian food. And she was here with Rossella Rago. She was at the event with her grandmother. And as you can see in here, my fingers are cold. She signed it right down in the bottom, but on the top, that's her grandmother's autograph, that they would sign each of the books. The next 3 books I purchased, but I was not able to get them signed. Either it was because they weren't at the signing, or because I had to. I wasn't there long enough, because I pulled with my grandparents, and I'm really I'm thankful that they brought this up with me, because they were the ones that brought this event to my attention, and it meant so much that they took me up and took part in the amazing day. The next 3 books that I got were The Gatekeepers, How the White House Chiefs of Staff Define Every Presidency by Chris Whipple, which, looking at the current events and the chiefs of staff during these most recent administrations, this is just something that's really an engaging subject that I want to learn so much more about. The same would go for the Supreme Court justices, because I think, like many people that want to learn about the world around them, I'm really interested in learning more about how things work. I got Elegy for a Broken Machine, which are poems by Patrick Phillips. And finally, I got The Orphans Tale by Pam Jenoff. This is a Holocaust tale, and Pam Jenoff is a native of New Jersey. So this is what I got while I was at the Morristown Festival of Books. I really had a great time at this event. I am definitely planning to go back next year, and I'm really intrigued to explore that and any other book festival that may be in store. I know that Don Levy brought up the Brooklyn Book Festival, which I may look into. We'll have to see. But for sure, I'm going to be going back to the Morristown Festival of Books, and I think that it's only going to get better and better with size, with the funding, especially if it garners the attention that it's been getting. And I will leave links down below to the bookstores that I mentioned, and also, as always, there's always a list of the books themselves that I mentioned. Thank you for tuning into this video. I hope you check out some more videos from our channel. If there's a book festival in your area, I highly encourage you to take the opportunity to attend. And for now, and as always, I encourage you to keep reading.